The topic for today is sea level changes. The book does a really good job, I think, in talking about how average sea levels on our planet have changed over time. I just want to draw your attention to a few important points. When we talk about sea level, that is where the average level of the ocean is today. And that has changed over time. Now, there are minor fluctuations that occur because of a hurricane. So, for example, Hurricane Katrina flooded a lot of New Orleans because New Orleans as a whole is under sea level and the levees broke and the water from Lake Pontchartrain flooded in. So even though New Orleans is below sea level, because of man-made structures, we can prevent, normally, New Orleans from being flooded. Similarly, in the country of Holland, in the Netherlands, they have huge systems to protect their country because much of it is also below sea level. There are many places around the world that do not have that technology. They don't have the luxury of keeping out the ocean. The ocean is going to come in and get them, whether they want it or not. This is especially true in low-lying areas such as beaches and islands and along the Indian Ocean coast. And a lot of these places have no protection because they don't have the economies that we have. And so as sea levels rise and fall, their beachfront property gets bigger and smaller. Now, hopefully you are aware enough to understand that sea levels are currently rising. This is part of the global climate change. There are glaciers and ice caps that are on land, and when that water melts, it goes into the ocean and raises the sea levels. And if you are in a low-lying area and the overall ocean level is rising and you don't have a fancy system like they have in the Netherlands or in New Orleans, your beachfront property is going to get smaller and smaller. And there are currently some islands in the Pacific that are disappearing at an alarming rate. And the question is, where are those people going to go? They did not cause this problem, but yet they are suffering the most because they are losing their homeland as the sea levels rise. Now, conversely, if we go back to the Ice Age, if we go back tens of thousands of years ago, when the glaciers and the ice caps were larger, when more of the Earth's water was stored in them on land in a frozen form, the sea levels were lower. And as the sea levels were lower, not only was there greater coastline area, but there were also land bridges that connected places that are now disconnected because the sea levels are higher. That meant that there could be migration of animals. And as animals, including humans, migrated from one place to another, and then as the sea levels rose, those populations got cut off, evolution does what it does best. And if you have isolated populations, they will evolve differently. So the changing sea levels in the past have been part of the driver of the diversity caused by evolution on this planet. So sea levels do change naturally due to natural climate changes such as ice ages. But now, due to human-caused global climate change, sea levels are going in one direction. They're going up. And if you think, oh, I feel badly for those poor people on those islands in the Pacific, but not going to think about it. I'm just going to go to Disney, the happiest place on earth. Have you looked at a map of Florida? Do you realize how low-lying Florida is? If the sea levels rise too much, much of Florida is going to be below sea level. Think about that when you're at your next Disney vacation.